You're listening to the Just Go Bike podcast. We're all about the culture of bicycling just for the fun of it. Your host, Kathy Murphy from the Morphology podcast and Andrea Parrott from Parrott Talk are joined by a wide variety of guests each week that delve into the social side of cycling. With tales from RAGBRAI Nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now, here are your hosts, Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
And that's me.
Oh, hey, AP.
Hi, Murph.
Have you had your morning caffeine yet?
I think you could probably tell the answer is yes. How about you?
Oh, man. I have had my morning caffeine, my midday caffeine, and before we pushed record, I was contemplating if I need an afternoon dose as well. But before we pushed that record button, I said, I'm going to grab a glass of water.
You did. It's not on tape, but I did hear you say that.
Yes.
Coffee. I mean, whether you're passionate about cycling or coffee, or both, you're probably aware that there's a pretty strong connection between those two wildly popular pastimes.
Yes. Okay, so fun fact. Do you know how many cups of coffee are consumed every day?
I'm going to guess 1.65 billion.
Billion?
Yeah, billion. Well, I've drank 1 billion alone already today.
Well, hopefully there's listeners out there that are yelling into their speaker what they think. But the correct answer is 2.25 billion cups of coffee are consumed every day.
Wow. I want to meet the person responsible for that other billion.
Well, I want to meet the person who counted it.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so as everyone knows who read the title of this episode, this is the Coffee Shops of RAGBRAI.
Woo!
And so we wanted to take just a minute to talk a little bit about the connection between coffee houses and cycling. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history here, AP.
Okay.
As cycling gained popularity in the 19th century, coffee houses began to become the natural gathering spots for cyclists. They provided a place for riders to rest, refuel, and then, of course, share or brag about their cycling experiences. And if you think about it, cycling and coffee houses both represented, kind of the simple pleasures of life, which, group riding, a cup of coffee, sitting around talking about biking. So it just seemed like it was a match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've certainly finished a bike ride and gone, that was tasty. It is a good fit because most coffee shops have sort of a laid back, friendly atmosphere, which is what most of my bike friends are like.
That is true. And the bond between coffee and cycling was already strong, but it really accelerated in the second half of the 20th century. And this is kind of like a fun connection to Tour de France. But this crucial spark was when Italian espresso manufacturer, which hopefully I can say the name right, but it's FIMA. Did that sound like I had an Italian accent?
Absolutely.
FIMA. Anyway, they were a sponsor of a cycling team, which became known as Team FIMA in the late 60s, and Eddie Merckx was on that team.
Oh.
So, of course, he got, lots of publicities. And then soon other coffee companies were like, hey, we want to sponsor a team or a cyclist. So that's kind of, how it got its popularity. And I still feel like there's a pretty strong connection today.
That's pretty cool. I'm thinking back to really old Tour de France clips that I've seen online or wherever. And sometimes the bikers, the participants in the race would literally hop into a coffee shop, get coffee or wine or like whatever, and then get back on their bike.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and if you think way back then as well, kind of the only marketing that was happening was on their jerseys because there probably weren't commercials like there are today.
Yeah. And I mean, in those early days, they didn't even have Lycra. They had to stitch stuff onto wool.
Wool. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I've got a fun fact for you. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Coffee beans are not actually beans. They're the seeds of the coffee plant's fruit, often called coffee cherries.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So enjoy your little cherries. Usually on traditional cherries, you don't even eat the pit, but coffee, you're eating it the other way around.
Oh, that is mind-blowing almost.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay. So here's a little bit of science behind cycling and caffeine. So, of course, we all know coffee contains caffeine. You can get a decaf version of it, but natural coffee contains caffeine, and that's a stimulant that affects the nervous central system, promoting alertness, kind of like you alluded to when we first started, that you are extra alert today. But then also caffeine can improve focus and reduce fatigue. So when you drink coffee or a caffeine drink during a bike ride, that coffee can provide a boost of energy, enhance performance, and make those uphill climbs a little more manageable.
I really wish that you had done this episode before the pre-ride. So you're saying that more caffeine means easier to climb hills?
Well, this is what I read, so it's up to you to figure out what you think about that. But it says it's also important to point out that drinking too much coffee is bad for you and can cause restlessness, headaches, and insomnia.
So, in a nutshell, cycling and coffee is sort of a love affair, if you will, that has developed over the centuries and is now stronger than ever. Coffee tastes great. It's a legal stimulant, aids your health and performance, and is the hot liquid glue of the coffee shop culture that has developed to create a strong camaraderie and sense of the tribal community amongst riders.
Yes, and help you up all of those hills.
Woo! And I want you to know I came up with that sentence all by myself. That was...
Were you reading something? Come on.
I was reading it, but I still agree with it. It was a great paragraph.
Okay. Well, okay, so I think we've made it clear that coffee and caffeine and biking have a great relationship. You know, we got to enjoy that ride. We got to have a few perks along the way. And that brings us to this episode, which is to catch up with some of the coffee shops along the route. Of course, we couldn't get to all of them. We didn't want like a 3-hour episode for you guys. So this is just some of the coffee shops that are on the RAGBRAI route.
Yes, it's a fine sampling. Like sometimes you get little packets of different coffee flavors. That's what we're doing today. And there has to be a little surprise for the ride. And speaking of a little surprise, we have an extra segment on today's episode.
Yes, the last interview on this episode, I got the chance to talk to Paul C. about AA.
Yeah, and for those of you who may not know, AA stands for Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's a group of people who come together to work through their drinking problem. Their main purpose is to help alcoholics achieve sobriety. And that's a super noble cause that we wanted to give a little time to on our podcast. RAGBRAI puts out a list of where all the different AA meetings are going to be held each day of the ride. So if you're interested, check back about a week before the ride and I'll have posted it as a blog post on ragbrai.com.
Right. And of course, it says Alcoholics Anonymous in the title, but Paul decided to tell his story and tell us a little bit about biking and sobriety and kind of what it means to him and his experience. And you will also hear his excitement for riding RAGBRAI this year.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about RAGBRAI. Everybody finds their way to the ride in a different way. So I can't wait to hear.
All right. We have Naomi from Winterset. Hey, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to have you on to talk about your coffee shop. And also you have a few extras that you want to share with riders. So let's get right into it. Will you tell everyone who you are as far as what position and what role you play at your coffee shop?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the owner, baker, barista, all things, wear all the hats. Got a great team of awesome people who help us out. But yeah, we own a Petite Cafe in Winterset.
Okay. And then before we push record, you were also telling me about the roasting side of the coffee business. Do you want to share that now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we also own Pamel Park Coffee, and have been roasting coffee out on our Century Farm for the past 8 years.
Mm.
And so we got to host RAGBRAI riders back in 2018, 19 when they came through, and that was so fun. And so we're excited to have some of the same teams come back
Oh,
and
cool.
camp with us and drink coffee on the farm.
So when you say that you're roasting, do you actually at the farm you have a facility where you are taking the beans and making them magical?
That's right. That's
Oh,
exactly what happens. Yeah. So we import beans from all over the world, and that's where the magic happens. So roast in my husband's grandfather's family barn that was converted into a food service facility, and roast for a lot of different places. But we love RAGBRAI, and we have a special blend that we do every summer. It's called Pedal Pusher Blend, and it's kind of honoring that tradition of RAGBRAI here in Iowa.
I I don't say this much about farms, but I can actually smell your farm from, through the microphone. I bet it
Oh, it smells
smells
so good.
amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
It's impossible to get gardening or anything done. You just get hungry smelling all that coffee being roasted.
That's awesome. Well, you said Petite Cafe is located in Winterset. Do you want to give
Yeah.
riders kind of a hint if you are on the route, near the route, or where they can come find you?
Yeah, so we're located at 106 West Court Avenue. It's right on the historic Winterset Square. And so we're right on the route.
Mhm.
Folks should be able to find us pretty easy. We're doing a bit of catering the night before for the VIP tent. So they might get to have a little bit of a treat the night before on Tuesday when they arrive.
Mhm.
And then we're excited to open up bright and early and welcome riders with a fresh cup of locally roasted coffee.
Of course, riders are going to want to know because, some people are, when we say early birds, they are really, really early birds. So what will your hours be? I don't know if, since you'll be doing the VIP thing Tuesday night, if you'll be open Tuesday, any special hours, but for sure, what will your hours be Tuesday and Wednesday?
So Tuesday we'll probably miss most of the folks at the coffee shop, but we will be at the VIP tent around 7 p.m. And then Wednesday we're opening up at 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
and we'll have fresh brewed coffee, full espresso bar, iced lattes, cold brew, tea, matcha, wheatgrass shots, breakfast burritos, pastries, scones, you name it.
Wow. And are most of those items normally on your menu? So if people come back to Winterset some other time of the year?
Yeah, they are. Those are our everyday menus. We do a lot of really fresh, healthy stuff. Some, salads and wraps, and of course, avocado toast and all those things. But I thought maybe the wheatgrass shots might, help give them some extra energy for the rest of their journey.
Mm-hmm. And then will you have an extension of your coffee shop out, like whether there's a tent outside your building, or will you be all located inside your space?
The espresso bar and any of those specialty drinks will be inside. We will have some cold brew kegs and some hot coffee carafes outside, so it's easier for people who are kind of in a hurry and just want that quick, grab and go.
Yeah.
If they have a minute to, pop inside and they want an espresso drink, we'll have that full bar open inside the cafe.
Okay.
And it is tiny. It's called Petite for a reason. So it's a cute little spot.
Well, and at that point in the week, we'll all be used to standing in lines and being in cramped spaces. So I think that you won't hear any complaining about that.
Right. Cool.
And okay, if you had to pick, I know it's hard, maybe it changes all the time, but do you have a favorite beverage or item on your menu that maybe riders will want to try?
Well, in the summer, I love our lavender cold brew latte. It's really light and refreshing, but it's got that nice boost of caffeine, and it's just so tasty and delicious.
Will riders, let's just say that they have a support vehicle that, they have extra room. Would they be able to buy the beans when they're at your business?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Okay.
We have bags of coffee available, and we'll make sure to have lots of extra of our pedal pusher blend, since that's sort of our, ode to RAGBRAI.
Yeah. And did you say that your husband's into cycling quite a bit?
He is, yeah.
So will he get to do RAGBRAI on this day, or will he be busy with coffee?
He's busy. He's probably busy roasting and then hosting, the folks out at our farm,
Sure.
the campers that are staying there. So not so much this time. Maybe he'll get to ride on some of the other routes, but not while they're, coming through Winterset.
Right. A lot of people are listening to this episode while they're driving to the start of RAGBRAI. If they want to maybe look you up on social media, or if you have a website, do you want to share that?
Yeah, sure. So our Instagram is Petite Cafe IA. You can email us at petitecafeiowa@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook and TikTok, all the socials. Our TikTok is Petite Cafe Iowa spelled out. So Petite Cafe Iowa.
Winterset's just going to be a fun day all around, just because of all the things that you have in your community to showcase. But now everybody knows Petite Cafe has to be on their list.
Oh, awesome. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Joe to the podcast. Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Glad to have you on to tell the listeners a little bit about Tiger Lily Cafe and, of course, St. Charles, Iowa.
Yeah, we are located right on Main Street in St. Charles, Iowa. Tomorrow will mark the start of week 5 for us. We have not been open very long at all. Just
No
May
way.
18th being our big grand opening day. Yep, this is going to be week 5. So we're still learning, still evolving, still adding things, still removing things. So we're still kind of figuring it out what we're doing. We've got a lot of it already nailed down. And one of the biggest, I should say, updates we have is the state of Iowa finally got us our liquor license.
Aha. So you are more than just a coffee shop.
We are more than just a coffee shop. Just this last Friday, we launched our beer and wine nights. So Friday and Saturday nights only, we're open again from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
We have beer, wine. I make a couple specialty cocktails for the evening. And then we do a series of flatbreads for people to munch on as well.
Wow.
We did a barbecue pulled pork and a blueberry goat cheese that went over really well.
Wow. And we're recording this podcast at around dinner time. So I hope nobody can hear my stomach growling.
Did that on purpose.
Okay, so we briefly said it, but will you give the listeners like the lowdown on maybe what role you play, what the name of your business is, and then again where you're located?
Yeah, I am a co-founder and operator. My wife and I opened the coffee shop of Tiger Lily Cafe. It is located in St. Charles, Iowa, right on Main Street. 130 West Main Street is the exact address. And we are a coffee shop, lunch spot, breakfast spot, hangout place.
So when riders come in, I believe that is Wednesday of RAGBRAI, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So you said you're right on Main Street. Will the route be taking us right in front of your coffee shop?
The route goes right through Main Street,
Wow.
straight through Main Street.
Okay.
So it goes right at our front door. Now, for RAGBRAI itself, we will have the shop itself closed off, just because there is definitely not room for 19,000 people to slide through there. But also because bike cleats would just destroy our new wood floor that we set in and installed.
Yep.
But we will have space outdoors, almost right in front of the building, where we will be serving people from.
Okay.
So we've got a ton of volunteers coming down to help us for the day, of friends and family, and we'll be shucking everything from inside to outside.
Okay. And so if I recall, when we came through on the pre-ride, I do remember taking off my shoes. So that was kind of fun, because I think you guys had only been open a couple of days or weeks.
2 weeks. Yep.
Yeah,
At that
yeah.
point.
And the floor was very clean, so we didn't do any harm to it. But
Perfect.
also, give us an idea of what plans will be like on RAGBRAI, because the other thing I was going to mention about that day is it was pretty early in the morning when we came through. So I know people will be looking for some coffee, and then you said that
Yep.
there might be other options too.
Yep, you guys actually ended up coming an hour early. Luckily, I got up there early morning and was prepared because I got told 8 and y'all showed up at about 6:45.
Oh
But I
my!
was ready
Look,
anyway. It was good. It was
that
good.
just shows you how fast we are, right?
Yeah, you're starting to slow down a little. Needed some coffee. Perked you right back up.
Yes, yeah.
So we're still formulating some of our plans for RAGBRAI and trying to figure out what items we can create and serve that will be in a mass quantity and in a timely manner as well. So having the shop closed down from the inside, we won't be doing espresso drinks most likely,
Mm-hmm.
just because the time constraint on, you think 30 seconds to pull an espresso shot times 19,000 is a little long. So
Right.
we'll be serving vats of both iced coffee, hot coffee. We'll have some breakfast items for people to munch on, some grab and go items, things that you can throw in a ditch and it won't matter, an apple core, a banana peel, something like that. We're working with some local partners who do protein powders.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're looking at developing possibly a whole bunch of like those quick peanut butter protein balls.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at the idea of a quick made to order, or we'll make them fresh that morning breakfast sandwich. And then of course Bloody Marys are on the table for sure. Probably a biker's favorite, which I've heard is vodka lemonade, and some other morning options as well.
Awesome. And, like we were joking that we came through on pre-ride pretty darn early, but how early do you plan to open that morning?
Oh, they say the first riders are probably going to start coming through between 5 and 6 a.m. So we'll be ready to serve the first person hopefully by about 5:30. So.
And I love that you are being mindful of the grab and go or just kind of the quick things because, by midweek we're all used to standing in lines, but man, it's so nice when you can just,
Yep.
if people are coffee drinkers, to grab a coffee and a sandwich or it's just something quick and then maybe explore town a little bit.
Yep. Either throw it in your backpack, save it for later, munch as you browse around, or find a spot to hunker down in some early morning shade.
Yeah, that's great. So, of course, coffee lovers, they need to, check out the Tiger Lily Cafe. But if you are somebody who likes a Bloody Mary early in the morning or a vodka lemonade, it sounds like you have that available as well.
Yep. Like I said, we're still developing and kind of perfecting our RAGBRAI menu, but those items will most likely be on it.
Okay, so if somebody is, maybe they're driving to RAGBRAI right now, they're getting ready, excited about it, is there a place that they can go and kind of scope out your place ahead of time?
Yeah, there sure is. I mean, they're more than happy to come in anytime during the week or on the weekends. We are open 6:30 a.m. till 1:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday we open at 7:30 a.m. Give me a chance to sleep in an extra hour and give everyone else a little chance to start their Saturday a little later. And then once again on Fridays and Saturdays we open from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. again. Little break in the afternoon to let me get everything ready to start pouring some glasses of wine that evening.
There you go, yeah.
Check it out at any time.
Okay, and so, those people who maybe are going to park their cars in Glenwood, so who knows if they'll be coming through St. Charles that day. But what about those of, the rest of the people who maybe are coming from a different state? Do you have social media presence or a website?
100% we do. We both have an Instagram and a Facebook going active, and we're developing our website as just an open face browser website right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's being set in place, but you can definitely check us out at Tiger Lily Cafe IA. And you have to put the IA on there and that'll pick us up.
Perfect. Tiger Lily Cafe. And we'll put that in the show notes so if people are actually reading this as well. So, well, great, Joe. Anything else that you want to share with us about St. Charles or about Tiger Lily Cafe?
We're just excited to be open. Like I said, this is the start of week 5 for us. And so far, the community response has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually in town in Des Moines today for the Des Moines Arts Fest that's going on right now. And we had a beautiful mural painted on the inside of our building. It's a very beautiful showpiece. And that artist was at the Arts Fest. So we stopped in and said, oh, hey, hello, we know you. And she said that at least a handful, 10, 20 people have come up to her and said, oh, you did the mural in St. Charles. That's just a lovely coffee shop, blah, blah, blah. So we're starting to make rounds outside of the town of St. Charles even.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'll speak for the other 19,000 people coming. We're excited to see St. Charles and maybe, get a cup of Joe from you.
Get a cup of Joe from Joe.
From Joe. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you in a matter of, well, who knows when you're listening to this podcast, but it could be days or weeks.
Yeah, it could be. We'll see you at any time.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thank you, Murph.
Okay, next coffee shop on our tour of the coffee shops of RAGBRAI is Tina, Mount Pleasant. Hey, Tina, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. Tell us the name of your coffee shop, what role you play, and of course, where you're located.
Well, the name of the coffee shop is Central Park Coffee Company, but the sign says Central Park Cafe and Bakery, so it's kind of a combined food place, establishment, and coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I am the owner, and we opened in 2018. Just because we kind of had a vision, we love to feed people. We had done some catering, and it's always been my passion to bake. I used to bake with, my nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I get to do it for the public and, hopefully make a little money doing it.
Right. And I love we got to visit when we came through on pre-ride, and the front of your business is very memorable, in my opinion. And it says Central Park. And tell the listeners where you're located as far as, in relation to the route.
Well, we're right downtown off the square. We're north of the fountain of Central Park. So we're right where all the festivities are going to take place. And so we're easily accessible right downtown.
Mm-hmm. And it's such a beautiful view of that Central Park, which I think is just an amazing space.
Yeah, it's really, we have perfect winter views. When it's raining, it's great. When it's sunshining, it's great. It's really just a great place to come in and sit down and relax. And, many people meet here and have meetings or just meet with friends and have conversations and sit up at that front window overlooking the park.
Mm-hmm. Well, you kind of alluded to this, but tell listeners what you offer as far as coffee. But then I already know that you said you have much, much more.
Right. We do have, your normal espresso drinks with all the different flavorings and things. But we have, for the non-coffee drinkers, we have Italian sodas and just some different soda pops and lemonade and tea. And we have cold brew, of course, for the iced coffee lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Our food selection, we do offer breakfast and lunch. We have burritos and quiche and gravy and biscuits. And of course, we have our, famous baked goods, the muffins, and the most popular baked good item that we sell is a lemon cranberry scone.
Ooh.
It's hard to keep those in the case. But we have coffee cakes and pastries as well. And then for lunch, we have some cold sandwiches and we do some grilled cheese. But two of our favorite sandwiches most of people are a turkey and Gouda with a special cranberry spread.
Mm.
And then we have a chicken salad on a croissant, and those are really popular. And of course, we have, pies and cheesecakes and cookies and all kinds of yummy stuff.
Hopefully riders have realized this at this point of the week, but RAGBRAI is not a place where you're going to actually lose weight because, as you just mentioned, there are a lot of options for food.
Right.
So riders will be coming in to Mount Pleasant on day 6. So I don't know if your coffee shop will be open as riders come in, but then of course when they leave on day 7 of the morning, will you kind of give riders an idea of what to expect at your business?
Well, yeah, we are actually going to extend our hours for that night of the RAGBRAI and do a RAGBRAI special with a pork loin sandwich and a beef parfait, which is, barbecued beef, mashed potatoes, and baked beans. And looks like a yogurt parfait, but it's really more of a savory one. And then we'll just stay open as long as we have people coming in and as long as we still have food.
Okay, excellent. And then how about the next morning?
The next morning we'll be open probably pretty early because we have a catered event for one of the groups that are staying down at Saunders Park that at the Old Threshers grounds. We have to deliver it at 5:15. So when we get back from that, we'll be open for business.
So one of the groups that are camping are going to have the luxury of having coffee delivered to them?
Yeah, we're taking coffee and a few muffins and some breakfast burritos.
Wow, that's a lucky team.
We'll be up late in the night, but that'll be all right because it's a one day event, so we can handle it.
Yeah. Well, and you're surrounded by coffee, so if you need to keep yourself, caffeinated,
Exactly.
you've got it. So when you're open in the morning, as RAGBRAI riders are leaving town, will you be in the street, like with tent outside, or are people okay to come into your business?
They'll be okay to come into the business.
And then do you have a special menu, or is it just kind of business as usual?
Probably that morning it'll be business as usual, but we'll just kind of stock up on our burritos because they're kind of easy to grab and go and things like that.
Okay. Well, remind us again the name of your coffee shop and if you have any social media sites or anything that people can look at on their way there.
Okay, we are a Central Park Coffee Company, and we do have a Facebook presence. So if you want to look on our Facebook, we'll try to post some of the specials and different hours and things that we're doing through that avenue.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tina. We are looking forward to getting some coffee, whether it's iced coffee or hot coffee, when we come through to Mount Pleasant.
Sounds great.
All right, next up we have Jill from the fabulous town of Mediapolis. Hey, Jill.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to join everyone.
Yes, I am too. And this day was very memorable. This was day 7, and we came into Mediapolis when we did the RAGBRAI inspection ride. And if I remember right, our fearless leader, Matt Phippen, let us stay longer in your community than we were supposed to. And so we got to hang out at your coffee shop. It was awesome.
Yeah, we had the whole group. They were all so nice and everybody sampled everything and we had great reviews. So
yeah,
I'm excited to share all that food with everybody.
Okay, so here we are. It's day 7. Riders will be, thinking, man, I have to go back to reality soon. But they have to take the time to stop in Mediapolis. So tell them the name of your business and who you are, what role you play.
So my name's Jill. I'm the owner at Jilly's Coffee and Cakes, and we are right on the main strip, right where the riders are coming through. We'll have a tent outside with all the other vendors. We also have our doors open, so we'll be serving 2 different things inside and out.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, we have smoothies that you can add protein to. Another unique thing is you can add caffeine to them. It's flavorless, so you won't even know it's in there.
Now you're talking. Okay, good.
We'll have our locally roasted coffee outside, so end your final note on some good coffee. We have baked goods. There'll be scones, donuts. We're gonna be coming in at like 2 a.m. and start cooking up donuts for you guys. We have chocolate filled croissants, and then on the inside, if you want more of a espresso, you want your latte, whatever, you go inside and we'll have a whole menu in there for everybody.
Oh, nice.
Yes, along with hot breakfast sandwiches.
Okay, so lots and lots of options.
Yes.
And both cold beverages and, of course, this is the Coffee Shops of RAGBRAI podcast, so of course you'll have coffee.
Yes, lots of coffee. I did forget to mention we are doing cold brew outside. So if you're over the hot coffee and you want a quick cold coffee, that'll be an easy grab and go item.
Okay, good. So you shared with me briefly before we push record a kind of a fun story about the history of your business. Well, maybe not all of it's fun, but had to do with meeting your roaster. Will you tell us maybe just a brief history of Jilly's Coffee and Cakes?
So my husband and I love to ride on RAGBRAI, and we were out in 2018, and there was an actual coffee truck called Sidecar Coffee. Many people up in the Waterloo and Cedar Falls area knows who that is.
Mm-hmm.
We met them there, tried their coffee, best coffee ever. And then the week that we got back, we emailed them and we decided to choose them as our coffee roaster.
Oh, cool. So wait, so that's a RAGBRAI connection, right?
It's a RAGBRAI connection. So people ask, what's the reason we have bikes on the wall in our shop? And it's because of that.
Oh, that's awesome. And did you say I mean, you're successful, right? You've been around for several years, but didn't you launch at a pretty tough time?
Yeah, we're going on 4 years this year, and we actually opened in the middle of COVID. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you are still successful. And if I remember right, we kind of mentioned this at the beginning, but you are right on the bicycle route. So there's going to be it's going to be a slim chance if people are going to miss your location, right?
Yes, we will. We're right in the middle of Main Street. So come find us. We'll have signs out. We'll have people welcoming you in the streets before you head down so you can find where the good coffee is.
Okay. And I'm guessing this changes all the time, but do you have a current favorite item on your menu that people should maybe check out?
I do. Right now, if you go inside for this one, we have an oatmeal cream pie latte, iced.
Ooh.
It's so good. We make the syrups house made, so we cook them up fresh in the back. And then that one is made with oat milk. So all of our non-dairy people, you need to try that one.
Perfect. And I love the idea, or maybe I don't know. Can you make a smoothie and put protein and caffeine in the same drink?
Yes. So you can combine both of those. You need the extra protein. You get near the end of the ride and you need a little recovery.
Yeah.
There's also that caffeine kick. It has no flavor to it, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
But that'll help you push to Burlington.
I already know that's what I'm probably going to order when I come through
Yeah.
there. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so if people want to check you out before they actually get on the RAGBRAI route, give us some sort of contact info, whether it's social media or whatever you want to share.
I encourage everybody to go to Facebook. Jilly's Coffee and Cakes is actually what it's called. So go there. We share pictures almost every day of what we have, what we serve, so you kind of know what you're in for. And then our website is also listed on there if they want to go to that.
Okay, so you've got outdoor area when we come through. You've got the indoor shop. You've got a kind of a background with RAGBRAI. So people should really be looking forward to coming to your business as they cruise through Mediapolis.
Yes, we love our bike community. Obviously, we're a part of it. So we want to see everybody. Our staff are super excited. So come stop and get a drink from us.
Excellent. Okay, last question I want to ask you. What hours will you be open on the day we come through for RAGBRAI?
We are going to be set up and ready to go at 5 a.m. So if it's a hot day and you're an early rider, we're going to be there.
Okay.
Until everybody starts clearing out of town, we'll still be going. So probably around 2, we're closing the doors, but I know everybody's going to be through probably sooner than that.
Yeah. All right. You early risers who, are on the bike early, you've got a place to go for coffee. Well, Jill, thank you so much for your time, and we're looking forward to seeing you as we come through on day 7.
Thank you so much.
A warm welcome to Sue Ann from Bean Counter Coffee House and Drinkery. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast to, share with listeners what they can enjoy at your coffee shop.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. We're excited to have RAGBRAI coming to Burlington again.
Yeah, yes. Well, start off by giving the riders some highlights of who you are, what position you play at the coffee shop, and maybe a brief history.
Sure. So my name is Sue Ann Wells, and I'm the owner. We have been in downtown Burlington since October of 2016. So this coming fall, we'll have been here 8 years. My background is finance and accounting, so that's where Bean Counter comes from. It's a little play on words, if you've heard that term before when people reference accountant people. So we actually have a second location in West Burlington, but this is our flagship store. We are open 7 days a week. We have typical coffee house offerings, so lattes, frappes, smoothies, those kinds of things. But we also have an in-house baker, so we have scratch-made pastries.
Ooh.
We have, yeah, right. We have about 40-ish food menu items. So salads, breakfast things, flatbreads, paninis, wraps. And then we also have boba, and we have slushies, and we have a full liquor license. So beer, wine, and cocktails to go with it all.
Whoa. All right. You're talking me into making a stop.
That's where drinkery comes in, right? So
Yeah.
it hits checks all the boxes.
Yeah. And how about location of the actual business that riders would be closest to?
Sure. So we are located at 212 Jefferson Street in downtown Burlington. So when you are at the river dipping your tire, we are a block and a half away. So we're kind of the gateway into our downtown area. We're right across the street from the police station, but right on the edge of town.
You're in a unique position. We talked about this before we pushed record, that there may be a lot of riders that do long-term parking in Burlington and then take a bus or a shuttle or some sort of transportation to the other side of the state. So there may be a chance the week before RAGBRAI starts that you'll have some visitors as well.
We would love to have that happen. We were around in 2019 when RAGBRAI came before, and we were an overnight stop. So we are excited to have everybody back. So if they're here the week before or here the day of when they come to dip their tire, we welcome everybody.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go specifically to, the last day of RAGBRAI. Everyone's so excited to dip their tires in the river. Give us some examples of, if you're going to be offering everything you offer on any other day or any special hours that you're going to provide.
So we are going to have our full menu available on that day. We will probably have a special drink or two that day going on. But we're not going to release that until the day of.
Sure.
But we will be here. We were a part of some meetings that are going on here, and so we'll probably open our regular hours just because we're here at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, sure.
So probably, I'm not sure we need to be here any earlier than that when the riders come in, but we're paying attention to the meetings that we're going to, and if it makes sense for us to be open a little earlier, that's what we'll do.
And then for any riders who maybe decide that they're not leaving Burlington until Sunday, so maybe they're camping or they have a hotel.
Sure.
What hours are you open on Sundays?
On Sundays, we're here from 9 to 3.
Okay.
And there's a lot of businesses in downtown Burlington that are open on Sundays. So you can come and have breakfast with us and take a stroll down Jefferson Street and shop and stop for a couple of beers or some great patios in a beer garden.
Nice.
So lots to do.
Okay. So this is a tough question. This is kind of like asking which of your children is your favorite. But do you have a favorite beverage or item on your menu?
So I will tell you, we change our drink and food menu seasonally. So about a week and a half ago, we launched our what we call Dog Days of Summer menu. 20% of our coffee proceeds go to give dogs a second chance. So we do that through no-kill shelters, microchipping, spade neutering. So a lot of things that you'll see in our store have a little bit of a twist about a dog or 2 or 10. So our Dog Days of Summer menu has all sorts of light and fruity kind of things in it, a lot of iced drinks. Probably our most popular drink that we have on that summer menu is a pistachio cold brew.
Ooh.
But I'm just going to tell you, I really am a black coffee kind of girl.
Okay.
I like my Americanos. I like my black cold brew. But we have about 60 different flavors. And if you can think of it, we can probably make it.
Oh, I love it. Do you have like a contact place, like a Facebook page or, like especially if people are going to wait till the morning of to find out anything exciting happening in your place, or they just want to find out where you are?
Sure. We've got a couple of different places you can find us. You can find us on Facebook. It's Bean Counter Coffee House. You can find us on Instagram, which is also Bean Counter Coffee House. And we have a website, which is beancountercoffeehouse.com.
Super easy. And we'll for sure put those links in our show notes. So when people are, listening to this episode, maybe while they're driving to RAGBRAI or whatever, they can check you out a little bit more.
All right, thanks. We're so excited to have all the riders here. My husband's a cyclist. He's not riding this year. He tore his rotator cuff, and so he's still recovering. But we're a cycling family. We are so excited to have RAGBRAI here.
I love it. So we have cycling family, we have coffee, and love of dogs. So what a good combination.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sue Ann, and we look forward to seeing you in, a matter of weeks.
I know. We're excited about it, too. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, well, to round out this coffee shop episode, we have an interesting topic to end, and it is AA, which I'm sure everyone knows what AA is. It's Alcoholics Anonymous. And today with me is Paul C. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how are you doing?
I really appreciate that you took the time to come on the podcast and to talk about AA, which, everyone probably knows what it is, but they may not know the connection with RAGBRAI.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, do you want to tell the listeners where you live and what cycling is like there?
Yes. I live in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Can't wait to experience Mount Pleasant, Iowa. My home group is East Cooper Sunrise. We meet 6 days a week at 7:15 in the morning, which is really cool. Mount Pleasant is a cool town. Cycling here is great. The weather is just spectacular year round. There's many options to ride. There's a great cycling community. It's beautiful. We're at the ocean, and there's also woods around here. It's flat as hell. If I want to do hills, I got to ride on the Ravenel Bridge. So yeah, I love it, and I ride all the time, and I can't wait to meet some folks and invite them to come join me.
Yeah, and we can't wait for you to come to Iowa and experience what the real hills are like. Well, when it comes to Alcoholics Anonymous, do you want to, give us some high level, maybe whatever you're comfortable talking about, whether it's your journey to sobriety or balancing socializing and biking and sobriety?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was definitely born an alcoholic, but it's exactly the same in so many ways as all the other alcoholics. I was engaging in alcoholic behaviors way before I could lift a cup to my face. I was 50 when I finally got sober. So the details, are less important than the fact that I've just got this physical allergy. And when I put alcohol in my body, I can't stop drinking. So, as to balance and socializing, all my friends are alcoholics. Just about everything I do is related, to these people and hanging out with them. I have a really addictive personality, of course. I got the disease or more. And so when I took up cycling, that just became the obsession du jour. And I kind of traded an unhealthy obsession that was already gone really for a healthy one. As far as balance, pretty much everything I do is either cycling, working, or going to AA meetings, hanging out with AA people. And a lot of it happens in coffee shops. And that's why I was so excited when you said you were having a coffee shop episode.
Yeah. It's like a good connection.
Yeah. And I really hope that through this, and we can go to the meetings, but also maybe we'll be able to hook up and have coffee together, have a meal. It only takes two to make a meeting.
That's right. Yeah. And a cup of coffee is optional, right?
Cup of coffee is optional.
So I'm sure listeners, well, I don't know if listeners will know this, but there are AA meetings that happen on RAGBRAI. And as of this recording, I'm not sure if it's been posted yet, but it will be shortly on the RAGBRAI Facebook page where those meetings are held in each overnight community. So with that said, is that something that you plan to attend?
Oh, yeah. I know RAGBRAI requires that overnight towns have AA meetings. I know somebody sent a list, and it could have been from a prior year, or it could have been the one for this year. But oh, hell yeah. One of the joys of AA is meeting members in other parts of the world. We're all incredibly different. We come from different places, different occupations, nationalities, but we are all exactly the same in that one big way. And going around and traveling and meeting new people is like one of the big joys of it. It's kind of like meeting a twin that you were separated at birth. And, that connection is indescribable.
Sure.
Meetings are where we get our juice. And so I will definitely be there.
Okay, so what made you decide to come to Iowa this year to do RAGBRAI?
As you might expect, it was a friend in my home group who talked to me about RAGBRAI the first time. So for about a year before, and then, several months after, I was pretty much incapacitated. And I was recovering, and I was deep into cycling because I couldn't do a lot of the other things. And my friend, who rode it with his, I think, 11-year-old son on a tandem about 10 years ago, told me about it. And, it just struck me as, wow, I need a life-changing vacation experience after what I've been through. And I thought RAGBRAI was perfect. I love meeting new people and having new experiences, and like pedaling across Iowa. Hell yeah. I signed up the very first day of registration, and I think I drove him crazy trying to find out when that was.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Because I was reaching out, for a while before registration even opened.
Okay, so you've got, about 480 miles ahead of you as we bike across Iowa. What's your
Hopefully it's only 440 and 18,000 or so feet of climb.
Yeah.
This year.
What do you imagine each day is going to be like on RAGBRAI?
Oh man, so I camp a lot, and I don't sleep well in tents, even all in the mountains. So I will be up early. I will do my morning routine, have my coffee, do, my morning prayers and meditation. And then, I just have as many of the experiences that I can. I plan to stop in every single town and meet the people of Iowa, that have gone so much trouble to get ready for us. That's it. I mean, I've watched the videos. I've been on the Facebook pages, and pedaling, pie, slides, but mostly meeting people, right? And it's so cool because Iowa is so different. And I was in Iowa in the 80s for like a week.
Oh, really? So that's it? Wow.
So I can't wait. Corn, just everything. I'm just so excited about it all.
And the cool thing is you're, going to experience Iowa and see all the people that live in the communities, but you're also surrounded by 15, 20,000 other people who are coming from different places. So the opportunity to experience what other people are seeing on RAGBRAI is just going to be amazing.
Yeah. I love meeting new people. I love meeting being new places. And I'm going to assume that everyone out there is just like me in that respect. I don't think anyone decides to ride 480 miles or whatever it is in a big festival like this, unless, they're just another really fun and outgoing, interesting person. I just can't wait to meet interesting people, be they Iowans or be they cyclists.
Yes, definitely. Well, if people want to know more if they want to know where the AA meetings will be during RAGBRAI, keep your eye on RAGBRAI's social sites. But what about if people are interested in learning more about AA?
That's an interesting one. So, there are organizations in every city and every town all over the world where you can call what's called the AA hotline. And so if you're sober curious, or if you're just in a really deep, dark place and you need, or, are ready for the solution that we offer, you can just Google AA and call that number, and there is someone 24 hours a day manning those phones, who will answer the phone. We'll talk to you about AA. We'll tell you where the meetings are, and if you need, we'll send someone out to see you and talk to you. I mean, the hand of AA is extended, and it's not too hard to find or to grab. And then, I have something, if you're in AA or loosely in AA or just want to find a meeting, I have an app called Meeting Guide that you can download. It shows the meetings in every town, how to get there, what they're like, what they're about, when they are, and day by day. So
all right.
You can load up meeting guide and find a meeting. It's impossible not to find us. We're everywhere.
Right. Well, Paul, we are looking forward to having you experience RAGBRAI in Iowa, and thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks a lot, Murph. I will see you guys. I'm sure I'll stop by and say hi whenever I see you broadcasting.
Awesome.
Or paddling. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Just Go Bike podcast. Murph and AP will be back next week. In the meantime, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. And if you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe you have a topic in mind, email them at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. Until next time,
Just go bike.
theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.